sing. Poor show. Thank you guys for coming to our closing night of RadiumGirls. You are in for a really, really great show. This is our first drama with me being here as the director, and they put in a lot of work. It's different than everything else that they've done, and they've done an incredible, incredible job. So first things first, of course, cell phones. Those of you who are as old as I am, if you still have your pager. And if you got concessions before you came in, good for you. Usually people wait till intermission. You'll probably be hungry again. But if you can keep all the rapping and those things really quiet, we don't use microphones for our just straight plays, so that would be very, very helpful. Again, this is our first drama. Even though it's a drama, there are funny bits, so feel free to laugh. Sometimes I know you're like, you said it's a drama, but they're doing something wacky. There are some wacky things in there. It's okay to laugh. It helps them out as well. Usually the show is done with only 9 or 10 people playing 4 or 5 parts. So even though there are 28 people in the cast, people will be playing multiple parts still. That's how many parts there are. So if they change hats or wigs, they're probably somebody else, just to keep it clear for everybody. They'll be playing multiple parts. And then I just want to let you guys know that we do have a couple of really great sponsors for this show. There toward the back, Redeemed Life Church has been our sponsor. Yeah. They're in the house and the house. All right. And also, True Bowl is a juice shop that our art teacher, Ms. Manalo, owns. It's just right down here on the corner. And if you take the program in, you'll notice you'll get 20% off if you go in there, I think through the next month or something like that. So definitely head in there and patronize them. That would be great. And then lastly, we are launching, thanks to Zach Swire, our very own donor support program for our drama department. It takes a lot of money to make kids look ill. But you know, costumes, lights, sets, props, all of those things get pretty costly, and what better training ground than here at our public school to be able to learn the skills these kids are learning. So they are the ones that are putting staples into the set and designing costumes and picking, and I don't know anything about makeup, so the makeup that you see today, the wigs are all styled by one of our students in drama that was Homecoming Prince. He's back there, Matthew Azuma. So all of these things are done by the students, and they really do learn a lot and have skills that they can take on. So we're really excited about that. We've got lots of special guests in the house, people from our Board of Education. We've got teachers. So thank you all for being here as well and supporting our students. I appreciate you all for coming. And without further ado, RadiumGirls. Woo!
That surprised you, Grace?
It was a factory. I thought it'd be dark and dirty.
Then why go work there?
I was 15. It was time I paid my own way.
Pay your own way? What about school?
How would I miss it so much? The girls were all so nice and the work was so hard. It wasn't like factory work, really. It was more like art. Painting those tiles. We were artists.
I'm not really the one you should be talking to. Banshishaki, he's the one you should talk to.
Now, Arthur, you know he won't talk to us.
It was his process.
Tell me about that process, Arthur. You used a powder?
We used a powder. The girls mixed it in with an adhesive to make the paint. And the business with the brushes, I didn't invent that. They were doing that when they started there.
But you knew about it.
We all knew about it. We just didn't realize what it meant.
Irene? In here. Irene, what are you doing? Shut the door. Amalia's working at inspection today. Is that bad?
Not for us.
She's gonna be sitting in this room all day by herself in the dark, painting dials.
So, we're gonna give her a little surprise.
Boo! Like the test error cat.
Who's gonna make her mad?
Oh, let her get mad.
That's having fun.
I don't want to make her mad.
Grace, do you have to be that way about everything?
What way? Your teeth, Grace. Put them on your teeth.
You like a Molly don't deserve it too. She paints more dials than any girl out there on the floor. And can't be bothered to talk to nobody either. You say, Molly, what's new? She just looks at you funny.
I don't think she can speak much English.
She's coming! Kill me with a smile, would it?
Keep coming!
Get the lights!
Oops. Mrs. McNeil!
Painted your face? Have you gone off your minds?
It was just a joke.
A joke? A joke like that could lose a girl her job.
Now, Mr. McNeil, I'm sure that's not necessary.
I don't tolerate no foolishness, doctor.
Yeah, very good. Foolishness, we don't want, do we? Mr. Vader, this is the inspection room. All the dolls come here that are painted, and here are the girls who should on the floor be working. Girls, this is Mr. Vader, my new vice president, and your new plant manager.
And I was just telling Mr. Reader about what a fine bunch of girls we have here.
He must think I'm halfway out of my mind.
Mr. Vader, perhaps you have some words for the girls? Mrs. McNeil?
Well, girls, the paint that you've been playing with is very expensive. You realize this. It takes several tons of ore to produce a single gram of radium. That's a lot of work. Hard work for the men in the extraction. But they do this work well. You understand why? Why they work so hard? What we are all working for?
The war?
That's right, the war. The dials you paint save lives. Otherwise, some of our boys won't be coming home. They depend on them to read them in the dark. No mistaking what they see. So girls, if you play around and don't take work seriously, well, you're playing into the hands of the Kaiser. And we don't want that, do we?
No.
Then let's stop the tomfoolery and get back to work.
Mr. Reader, I promise I'm so sorry. I won't do nothing like this ever again.
Well, dear, just remember this. If you do right by us, we'll do right by you.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the New York Graphic. The New York Graphics only. Girl reporter.
Jack Youngwood for the Newark Ledger, Newark's first source for news.
Madame Marie Curie, eminent French scientist, embarks on a whistle-stop tour of the United States.
First stop, New York City, where she's greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of well-wishers.
The High Priestess of Science is headed to Washington to receive the gift of 1 gram of radium, valued at $100,000.
Purchased for her by the members of the Mary Curie Radium Club, an association of 100,000 American women
who each gave $1 to support humanitarian research with radium.
Grace, over here! Irene, look! I got my certificate. Remember Marie Curie Radium Club?
You gave $1?
It's all for science.
Science? What about my room and board?
Ooh, there she is!
Welcome all. I must ask you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, please limit your questions. Madam Curie is about to embark on an exhaustive tour of the country, and she's under strict doctor's orders to rest. Although, in typical fashion of a scientist who could only do research, her life's work, she's refused to rest.
Madam Curie, what will you do with the radium? What will you do with the radium?
I will continue my experiments to find better methods for the treatment of the cancer.
Is radium a cure for all cancer?
Cure for the cancer? Yes, cure for the cancer. That is so. Radium has already cured all types of the cancer.
But some doctors dispute that.
Since I do not understand the method, radium will cure the cancer.
Madam Curie!
Madam Curie,
Madam Curie! How have you managed to devote yourself to both science and to your children?
It has not been easy. but my daughters share my gratitude for the American women and their interest in science and my work. I am most grateful.
Madam Curie. Madam Curie. Madam Curie.
No more questions. Madam Curie's on a great schedule. Mrs. Andrew Carnegie sent the card, and will escort Dr. Curie personally, as alive, to Washington, D.C., where President Harding will present the gift of 1 bit of radium.
You see that, Charlie? That's a marketing opportunity. We'll send her one of our customers' watches, courtesy of the United States Radium Corporation.
We'll need a press release.
Radium isn't just for scientists to study. The average American could share in its glory every night. Luminous watches, luminous clocks. Anyone who thinks these as novelties consider all the past advances. In the past 50 years, the electric light, the telegraph, the telephone, the automobile. Inventions all once dismissed as novelties, as toys.
Are all essentials of modern day life. God, that ought to sell some watches.
Watches? Absolutely. But that's not where the growth is now. You heard the lady. It's the medical market.
And Standard Chemical owns it.
Only because Ron Shoshaki lets them take it. But if we wanted to, we could own half their business. It's just a matter of positioning.
Standard Chemical publishes its own journal. Sends it out monthly for $12,000. We should do something similar.
Something scholarly. Something the doctors would respect.
A bibliography listing every major article ever written on radium.
But with capsule reports. It saved the doctors time. They find the information, find it fast.
And have us to thank for it.
We'll send it to the State Radium Society.
Every doctor, American Medical Association.
That's the spirit, Charlie. Advertising? That's the wave of the future. It's not just about the product. It's the way you promote it.
You should have seen it, Grace. The church was filled with flowers, lilies and carnations and orchids. You know what, Jamalia loved orchids.
They weren't orchids.
They were orchids, Irene. Flags. Orchids. I know an orchid when I see one. Purple orchids. Oh, and that smell! Grace, that smell! It was like flowers? No. It was like heaven! I was gonna say it was like heaven.
Catherine, it was just a funeral. Make it out to be some Valentino picture.
It wasn't just a funeral. It was Amalia's. And it was beautiful.
The church was like the botanical gardens, and the company sent a big spray of flowers, carnations. Mums. Yellow carnations.
Those were moms.
Well, I'm sure it was a nice service anyhow.
Oh, yes, it was.
Girls! The whistle's already gone. Now then, I received new instructions to stay. We're going back to the old way of pointing the brushes. We were losing too much paint on the cloth.
But
Yes, Grace, something you wish to say?
Dr. Basashaki told me not to do that. He said it was insanitary.
Unsanitary? Well, I can't hardly believe you'd say such a thing. We've done so as long as I've been here. You must have misunderstood it.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're not getting new brushes until you're done with the old. They've got to be so bad they don't point no more.
you can't make quota like that.
Well, you'll do your best then, since I have my instructions.
I need a new brush.
It's not up to us to ask the questions. It's for us to do the work.
I have my instructions, girls. I have my instructions.
Here's an instruction for you, McNeil. Put some of the starch out of your course.
Was she at the service?
McNeil? Are you kidding? You think she crossed the street for her own mother?
Most everybody else was, though. You was not the only girl from the floor who wasn't there. I wanted to come, but Mom was working and I had to watch the little ones.
You could have brought them.
All 7?
I tried to get there.
Just lay off. Grace feels bad as it is.
Were many of the fellas there?
Oh yeah, lots of fellows from downstairs. Dr. Rob from the front office. Dr. Shaki was there, and Mr. Reader.
And he left early.
So he was there all the same. Oh, and Grace, you know the fellow from crystallizing, the one with the red hair. What was his name? Oh, the the one who snaps his fingers all the time. George! I think it is George.
It was Jerry. Jerry Allen, he was the one who was always talking to Amalia in the day room.
That's right! Oh, and Grace, when the mass was over, he goes over to the coffin and he goes like this, he goes. No!
Oh, for pity's sake!
Well, it's true. Nobody could believe it.
So what if it's true?
So what? He was in love with her, that's so what? Don't you think so, Grace?
Well, I guess he had to be if he did that.
And can you imagine if he loved her and never told her? Because she was so beautiful and he was so shy. And now it's too late. It's too late. Their love is forever thwarted. He didn't tell her, and he'll never get another chance ever again.
Poor Amalia.
Poor Amalia. Poor kid. Her family took it awful bad, Grace. Albina, Kinta, every one of them. Crying so bad. Even her father. I'd never seen a man cry before. And not like that. Just bawling like a baby.
And you know why, too.
Because their daughter had died.
No, but she died from.
Irene, don't go spreading stories.
It's not a story. Albina told us. No reason Grace shouldn't know.
No what?
No what?
Amalia? Ain't it awful? Albina said her father's fit to be tied too. 6 weeks to home and ain't one of them going to dance ever again.
Because Amalia went up and died from syphilis.
Wow.
I can't prove it if that's what she died from.
I don't know that for sure. It's on the death certificate.
Anemia and complications from syphilis.
But Amalia was ever so nice.
Yeah, she got around more than we knew.
Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe the doctor got it wrong.
Come on.
He could have got it wrong. Doctors are wrong sometimes.
That's true. Doctor was wrong about Aunt Ivy.
What's Mama got to do with it?
Irene, don't you remember? Up till the day she died, doctor said she would be fine. Said, get a cup of tea, get a good night's rest, and 2 days later, we was taking her to Rosedale Cemetery.
Girls, the gentlemen are here to make an announcement.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. McNeil. Girls, we are here to put a few rumors to rest.
And to explain some changes, yeah?
Yes. Some of you may have heard by now. The doctor is stepping down. And he'd like to take this opportunity.
To make his goodbye, Mr. Reader has kindly consented. Some of you I have known since you were little girls, coming here down the bar, working so hard, day after day, 200, 300, 500 hours a day. So excited about my work here. When this company I started in my own kitchen, mixing up the paint, I knew I found something miraculous to make life better, easier. And now what do I reach? More and more uses of for the radio. More than I dreamed possible.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yes. Thank you, Doctor. Well, girls, the doctor is a very busy man and must be on his way. So let's wish him the best of luck on his new business venture. Very good then, girls.
And Mr. Beta, let us give a grace to you also, to the plate he starts as your new company president. Our congratulations to you.
Yes, thank you.
When Mr. Beta came 4 years ago, I saw him a man of great enterprise.
Thank you.
And great ambition.
Yes, thank you.
Little did I guess the direction his ambition would take, but one of the things that makes this country great is the opportunity it presents to a young man and to his friends.
And so, girls.
And so, ladies, let us wish Mr. Beta the very best in the new direction he intends the company to take.
New direction?
With slow down and down painting,
Now, Doctor,
and business moving into the medical market, there's going to be lots of changes, yeah?
what the doctor was referring to is that some of our larger companies are setting up their own dial painting studios.
Which means let's look for our girls here.
In the short run, things may be slower. However, the Waterbury Clock Company in Connecticut needs help setting up its new studio. We're intending to make the announcement next week. We'll make it now. Ms. McNeil?
Yes, we're planning on sending some of you girls up there.
The work is supervisory in nature, which means more pay. Do you have any girls in mind?
Yes. Lena McCarthy, Sarah Deutsch, and Catherine Schwab. I'll have the entire list downstairs. All those today?
Fine. There you have it, girls, as we are all on the clock. We'll leave you to your work.
Thank you. My message is to you.
And that's back to work with you girls.
You didn't do it, Catherine? You gonna take the job? Would you, Grace? Would you go to Connecticut?
I don't know. It's all far from home.
Tommy would have a fit. Oh, come on, Grace. It would be fun. Would it be fun, Irene? Irene?
Irene, honey, are you alright? Why wouldn't I be alright? What? Your mouth is bleeding.
More to life than money.
That's what you say when you're young, Tom. But when you get to be my age and the house full of kids running under your foot, you'll thank God for any penny you put by.
We got money put by?
How much?
Enough to get married on.
It don't take much to get married on. It's about how much you have to stay married on.
We'll find out.
Are you still eating, Tommy?
Good.
You're gonna get fat.
He needs to keep his strength up. He works hard for his money.
I'm smart, Mom.
I didn't start nothing. It's your father who lit the roof over it.
He didn't hit the roof.
Tom, you should have seen the look on the man's face when Grace said she wasn't working the plant no more. Most girls would think they'd clear IT for a job. Good money, easy work, nice little fellows around the plant.
She didn't talk about them.
Wasn't many of them. Hardly seemed worth the mention.
And she leaves it all behind for reasons unknown. I'm tired of this, she says. You tired of the paycheck, I says? Who needs a paycheck, she says? I got me a boyfriend to take me out on Saturday.
She said that.
I didn't. And for your information, I got a job. I started at the bank on Monday.
Oh yeah, the bank. And what's it pay?
Enough.
Enough. Always enough. You know what that means, Tom? It'll come closer to the radium plant.
It's office work.
Oh, office work. Why is he spending more money on clothes then?
Boy, she sneaked at you.
I don't see what difference it makes, as long as I work somewhere.
It don't make no difference to me. I just started like working up there.
Sure, I liked it. I worked there for 4 years.
Well, I've been delivering for 8 years. And another 20, 30 if I'm lucky. Look, with steady work and good pension, it helps me sleep at night.
I don't have no pension. I sleep just fine.
Oh, I bet you do.
So why'd you quit?
Lots of girls are quitting. Work is slow. Besides, since I read less, it's just not as much fun. But would you rather have a girlfriend who works at the bank?
I'd much rather have a wife who don't work anywhere at all.
Close your eyes. I got a surprise for you.
Yeah? Want to pull the shades?
Close your eyes. Now look,
Wallpaper?
for the baby's room.
Babies! You won't even kiss me and you're talking about babies?
There's gonna be babies eventually, Tommy.
Well, yeah, but most girls get married before they start decorating the nursery.
Plan ahead for once. Pick one.
They're both the same.
No, they're not. This one has big flowers and this one has little flowers. So pick one.
This some kind of test?
No, it's just wallpaper.
Wait, this some kind of test.
Tommy,
That one.
really?
Alright.
What do you like though?
They're both nice.
This one's pretty, don't you think?
That one then.
Well, you like it too.
If you like it, I like it. Wallpaper's wallpaper.
No one isn't. You gotta pick something you can stand to look at for 20 years.
The same way you pick your women?
Keep it up, smart camp. You won't never get that kiss.
Alright. This one, hands down.
I like it too. A nice neutral yellow goes with either a boy or a girl. And until the baby comes, we could use the room for other things.
Yeah? Like what?
Like a painting studio maybe.
A painting studio? Don't you get enough of that at work?
Not the kind I want, Tommy. I used to do watercolors at work, but or at school, but ever since I went to work, I don't have no time. What with helping kids, Mom? But once we're married, I just want some time. Just a little time to myself. So that I could do watercolors, or oils maybe. Or maybe portraits in oil. I can paint your picture if you like.
Why not paint a big picture of me and we'll hang it in the outhouse? All our friends will come over just so they can use the can. So they can look at me. I still want to paint pictures. Paint pictures. I'm gonna stop you.
You say that now, but once we're married, you'll change your tune.
Yeah, I will. I'll be whistling Dixie.
Wait till we'll come home tonight, all tired. Some Christmas maybe, when every customer's on the route had 3 times the mail. Maybe some dog took after you. And some old lady got you waiting on her stoop telling you all about her grandchildren. You wouldn't have the heart to tell her you can't talk. I know you. So you come home late and cranky and besides, hungry, wanting your dinner. And there I am, with my easel in the kitchen, my drop cloth on the floor, and my paint's all over the counter, and your dinner nowhere in sight. What would you say then?
It better be a picture of me painting.
No, I know what you'd say. You'd say, where's my dinner? That's what you'd say. Where's my dinner?
All right. I'll just rather prefer admiring it on a full stomach is all. So, how did you pick the right wallpaper?
I don't know. Maybe I'll go look at the stripes.
Stripes! Polka dots? I don't care. I just want to marry you. Tell your mom we ain't gonna wait no more. You're playing old enough. Let's run away.
We're not running away, Tommy. We're gonna do it right. A nice church wedding with flowers and music, and then a week at seashore. Just us. Then we'll settle down our own place. It'll be worth the wait, Tommy. You'll see.
Your tooth hurt you?
Yeah. The dentist wants to pull another tooth in the back.
Well, what's a tooth?
Only by virtue of employment.
Except she's got a good lawyer.
Knows how to write a good letter anyway. That lawyer.
And she no longer works here?
Left 6 months ago.
This makes 4 now.
3.
4 if you count the Maji.
I wouldn't include her.
She worked here.
She also worked other places. And what she died from. You can't catch that here. At least I don't think you can.
That's not funny, Charlie. That's just idle.
In my experience, there's usually something to do with idle talk when it comes to girls like this.
From a large family, wasn't she?
Italians, the conditions they live in. 10, 12 people, and 1 room. It's no wonder they'll die from an infection or another.
3 then. And how many deaths?
Only Miss Maja, but I haven't heard from her yet.
It's too late for them anyways. The statute of limitation is 2 years. But Miss Kush is another story. She's in a position to make some trouble now.
From all the time I've been, no one has so much as slipped on the floor. And now this?
We're talking about 4 girls out of how many hundreds that we've employed?
600, 700 over the years.
And some of those girls were sick when they got here. 1 girl you hired, complete cripple, could hardly walk. Her father had to carry stairs to the studio every morning.
It didn't make any difference to me how she got up the stairs. She needed the work. She was a fast worker and a very sweet little girl.
She was in poor health.
She needed the work.
Arthur, Charlie.
And not just for the money, to be productive, to have a purpose. That's what work does, Charlie. It gives us a purpose. I don't see any reason why we should stop hiring girls like that.
And when they get sick and try to come back and blame us for it, you might want to reconsider that policy.
Then let's see what Dr. Drinker has to say then.
Dr. Drinker?
Some professor at Harvard School of Industrial Hygiene.
He chairs the department and has agreed to take a look at our operations.
Do you think you're jumping the gun a bit, hiring him?
We've had 6 girls quit this week, and Miss McNeil tells me there could be more.
Girls come and go all the time.
It's never been like this. These girls are terrifying. We've got to do something to calm them down.
Letting Drinker examine them sounds like a recipe for mass hysteria.
We'll tell them it's a routine visit. Edward?
Companies get physicals all the time.
Then Drinker will start next month.
In the meantime, I recommend we make an offer to Miss Gooser.
Settle.
There's no proof her problems are connected to us.
If she sues, believe me, you won't like the publicity it will bring, and you to your investors.
You say this will affect the stock offer?
Don't you?
We'll open at 30 and close at 10.
Or not open at all.
If we give her something, that will keep her quiet?
It'd be a condition of the settlement.
Maybe we better do it.
Say the lawyer's got a racket going. He finds sick girls and talks them into making suits. Then we reward him for his larceny.
Unless Miss Kuzer genuinely believes these girls got sick here.
It could be like Charlie says. She comes from a large immigrant family, not well educated, not a lot of resources.
$a few $100 can make a difference to a girl like that.
Certainly, buy some medicine, pay some bills. From the sound of that letter, I don't think the girl has long to live anyways.
So it would be a gesture of decency then.
Exactly.
What do you think we should offer?
March 24th, 1924. Jeff Young reporting for the New York Ledger.
Nancy Jane Harlan for the New York Graphic. The Graphic's only girl reporter.
Could radium water pose a cure for crippling arthritis? Scientific studies suggest a connection.
Dateline, Orange, New Jersey. Radium water products offer a miracle cure for crippling arthritis.
Some patients report a significant abatement in their symptoms.
Mrs. Jeremy Michaels of the Bronx tells how radium water transformed her life. My pain got so bad I could hardly bend over.
While others report only mild relief.
This poor, brave woman could not even bend down to kiss her little ones goodnight. And I got 3 of them. Let me tell you, they are a handful.
Dr. Harrison Martin, Chief Medical Examiner for Essex County, commented on the study.
Preliminary at best.
Your recommendations, Dr. Martland?
I advise further study.
Then Mrs. Michaels tried Radithor. Well, first it felt like I'd been hit by a bolt of lightning. It was that powerful. Now I drink a bottle a day just to maintain my health.
The tech sample is questionably small.
They said it would help my rheumatism, and so I drank a bottle a day for a month. And now I just scrub the floors and hang laundry, same way I've always done.
Dr. William J.A. Bailey of Orange, inventor of Radithor, reports strong demand for his product.
Dr. William Bailey of Orange announces sales of Radithor exceed 100,000 cases worldwide.
Radioactivity is one of the most amazing things in science. I took Radithor myself every day, and I can vouch for its power.
$1 a day? At $1 a bottle?
Worth every penny!
Yes, indeed. I was a very picture of lethargy until I found out about the amazing, vitalizing effects of radium water. Now look at me. I'm a man in my 50s, and I have the energy of a man in my 30s.
You rather look like a man in his 30s.
Well, thanks.
A testament to the tonic's potency?
Or to the cell's creativity.
Radithor, it is perpetual sunshine.
And a perpetual money machine for its inventor.
Is there no end to what science can do?
Maybe you should have made an appointment.
Don't need no appointment.
That's an awfully busy place, Catherine.
I shouldn't need no appointment for this.
I'm sorry, I can't find anything under Schwab.
It's under Rudolph.
Rudolph?
The girl I'm asking about, Irene Rudolph.
Did she file a complaint?
No, the dentist did.
The dentist?
Yes, Dr. Neff, Irene's dentist. He said he might have Fossey jaw and was going to file a complaint to the health department. But when I asked him, he said he hadn't heard nothing. And it's been more than 6 months now.
Fossey jaw, you say?
Yes.
Catherine, it could be like the doctor said. A blood infection.
Yeah. But what gave it to her? That's the thing. What was it from?
From dirt.
From dirt?
You get infections from dirt.
Her face puffed up like a pumpkin. Her jaw rotted so bad she couldn't eat nothing. You think you get something like that from a little dirt? You get it from phosphorus. They're telling everyone it's radium in the paint, but it's actually phosphorus that makes it glow.
Look, honestly, Catherine, you can't really believe that. You saw her, Grace.
Catherine, if it was as bad as you said it was, they wouldn't let y'all work up there in the first place.
Sure, they just shut the place down.
Shut it down? Who? Who's gonna shut it down?
I don't know, the county.
Honestly, Grace, you're such a ninny.
Hey!
Who's gonna shut it down if they don't know about it? Ever think of that?
Now come on.
It's all right, Connie.
She has no business talking to you like that.
She's just upset.
Upset? She's gone around the bend. She probably thinks they're dumping arsenic in the drinking water. Next, she'll be saying they're kidnapping babies and using them to stoke the furnace.
Go ahead and laugh. You won't be laughing so hard when it's you coming in here 6 months from now asking after Grace.
For crying out loud!
Catherine, it's just a toothache.
Yeah, that's how it started for Irene. Just a toothache. You wait, Grace. You wait. One morning you'll wake up, your gums hurting so bad you won't be able to open your mouth.
Stop it, Catherine.
So weak and sick you won't be able to stand up. The pain's so bad you won't be able to sleep at night. Your face so swollen you won't be able to stand
I
the
said stop it, Catherine! Grace, it's fine! Right, Gracie?
Irene Rudolph?
That's it.
She works at the radium plant.
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing.
Huh?
The company's in full compliance of all
Do you see that?
Miss,
Who's Miss
Rid-
Young?
She's a health officer.
Paint
Miss!
is a harmless compound of radium and zinc.
As I was saying, they had to taste the paint tested and analysis of the paint done. And they found no phosphorus anywhere. There's no phosphorus anywhere in the plant. I'm sorry.
There. You see, Catherine?
Miss Young toured the plant herself. She found nothing amiss. I'm sorry.
Well, guess we can get some lunch now.
I'm gonna file a complaint.
We already did an investigation.
I wanna file another complaint.
Sure.
Catherine, these folks, they're awful busy here.
I wanna file another complaint.
I just don't think what good it's gonna do. Take such a fuss this way.
Grace! 3 surgeries. And they wanted to cut her open again. She finally said no. She knew what was left of her jaw rotted so bad. It smelled terrible. And the worst of it is, I couldn't look at her. She was so scared of being alone. But I left her alone. When she died, it was the middle of the night and nobody was there with her.
I'm sorry. Could we have another form? My friend would like to file another complaint.
Another complaint? Is the girl still sick?
No. She died.
Wait right here.
Harriet? Harriet, you come down from that tree at once!
I went near Papa.
Fine. When he gets here, I'll send him up after you.
There he is. Papa! Papa!
Harriet!
Harriet, come down at once!
Papa! I can see through the church.
Can you? Do you see your grandfather?
No, but I can see the schoolhouse.
You think this is funny?
She's enjoying herself.
Harriet!
I tell you what, if she has no one to shout to, she won't shout.
They can hear her all over the neighborhood.
Can they?
When she comes down, I want you to speak to her.
She's 9 years old.
I'm trying to raise a daughter, not a son.
And time is on her side. In another year or two, she'll lose interest in trees and develop a fascination with boys.
That's supposed to scare me.
And when that day comes, you'll be frantic because she no longer wants to climb trees.
What's this?
Something to give you vitality.
You think I need vitality?
That's what it says on the bottle.
Is it pure?
We're a supplier. Want to try it?
If it will give me vitality, how could I refuse? Someone came by to see me today.
Another hard luck case?
4 children at home.
all under the age of 6.
Let me guess. The wife is in the hospital with cancer,
Yes.
and the husband's been laid off from, let's see, the brickyard.
Yes.
Through no fault of his own.
How did you know?
Dad was around to see me yesterday. It's never enough with him to have ordinary ambitions in life. You have to have a mission.
And you do.
No, I have a business.
You can't tell me you wouldn't help this man if you could.
If I could, but I can't give him a job that doesn't exist.
What about Dan Lehman?
Dan,
Maybe he could use some help.
in the laboratory? Dan needs trained technicians, not another bricklayer. Why don't you send him to Miss Middleton? Don't you women have a social club for those sort of things?
You mean the Women's Club Civics Committee?
Right.
Yes, the club takes an interest in such cases, but we're not an employment service either, which is why I thought you could help him.
Oh, you do love being married to the company president, don't you?
It has its advantages.
You ever think of trading in it?
Do you?
You know, I got my shoe shine this morning, and while I sat there and watched the boy work, I thought to myself, this is quite an enterprise. The work walks in, the work walks out. No inventory, no warehouse, no health inspectors, definitely no stock price.
And you'll trade all of it in for your own shoe shine stand.
Fewer headaches that way.
So you're in one of those moves again. What is it this time? It can't be the market. It went up today.
Now you're reading financial pages?
I have to entertain myself somehow. So, what happened today? You're being very strange.
Am I? I'm sorry.
You can tell me, you know.
Nothing to tell, really. This is gonna be the best year yet.
So it's the prospect of success that you find so disheartening.
I'll get my checkbook.
What for?
Your bricklayer?
Artie, he needs a job, not charity. What is it your father always says? A working man needs to work.
It wears on his soul not to work. Well, if it's a matter of the soul, then that's different. All right? I'll have him talk to Dave.
Artie,
But I make no promises, then.
no promises.
To your help.
How long have you had this drainage?
A week or two. Heard something awful, Doctor.
Anything else bothering you?
Back hurts me too.
Your back now? You seen your regular doctor?
He says it's nerves.
Nerves.
About my wedding and all.
This ain't no case of nerves. I hope he told him that.
What do you think?
I think you better schedule that surgery.
Couldn't we put it off a little? Till after my wedding?
You don't have that surgery, you won't have no wedding.
Huh?
Miss Fryer, I want you to listen. Your jawbone, it's decaying. That's the black pus oozing out of your gums. It's the bone itself.
That's impossible.
To Mr. Arthur Reeder, U.S. Radium Corporation, from Cecil Drinker, Harvard University. It closes our report.
Fine.
We believe the trouble in your plant is due to the radium.
Radium.
It can't be as bad as that.
This can't be.
Blood changes in your employees can be explained on no other grounds.
Put off the surgery, it could be developed into a septic condition. It could be fatal.
Photographic film carried by employees show heavy fogging.
I don't have a lot of money saved right now, but I got a suggestion for you. What if you can go to the radium plant and explain your situation?
Come to the company?
We realize no proof can be offered at present.
Once they see the kind of condition you're in,
This is impossible.
they kind of feel obligated to help you out. I don't see how they can refuse.
We recommend immediate and drastic remedial action.
Look, if you want, I'll write to them for you. They can work through me, just pay my bills directly.
You think they do that?
Charlie!
They got a moral obligation, don't you think?
I guess so.
We'll do it right now. I'll get to people.
He has to be wrong. That's all. He's wrong. Charlie, he has to be wrong.
Must have overlooked something.
If we're suffering from a new ailment, it should genuinely occur throughout the plant.
One would expect.
Several hundred milligrams in the solution at all times, in the big vats. Several hundred milligrams in the ore. Several hundred in crystallized.
The whole backyard's filled with tailings.
Radium is present in good amounts all over the property.
If it's the radium, then the incident should be highest in the laboratory.
And no one there is sick.
Perhaps it's a mixture of the radium and the zinc.
Or something peculiar to our plant alone.
Some bacteria, perhaps in the brushes.
It can't be the radium. There are dozens of application plants across the country, and none of them have reported anything like this.
The Department of Labor is going to want to report on this.
Yes, I'm aware.
What do we do? This could tear us to pieces. How do we answer to it?
They want to see the report? We'll send them this.
1 page?
The most important page.
Drinker won't stand for this.
Drinker works for us. This is a proprietary report.
But
what we do with it is our business.
But the Department of Labor, Arthur.
We just need a little time, Charlie. Just a little time.
They shut us down for this.
Scientists! Government men. They have no idea what it takes to run a business. Von Chishoki thought advertising was a dirty word. He laughed at the very idea of promotion. I can't tell you how many times I walked into that man's office and he turned a deaf ear to everything I said. But we showed him, Charlie. We showed him. We are the single largest supplier of radium in the world. In the world. Do you think I'm going to stand idly by and let our good name be dragged through the mud? Trust me, Charlie.
Dr. Flynn, it's awful nice of you to come home today.
No, my dear, not all.
I told the doctor to do over, so he was going to look at my blood work.
Excellent.
And so?
I must say, Miss Fryer, your blood looks better than mine.
It does?
That's what happens to an old man who smokes. You know.
My feet have been back mostly. I had to wear braces for a while.
So I see. And this started before you left the company or after?
After I left. Dr. Neff says this all has to do with the radium theft. You know another girl who died from it? Irene, you know?
Ah, yes, terrible thing. Vincent's angina?
What's that?
That's an ulcerative condition of the mouth, my dear.
From the radium?
Oh, no. Rare and unfortunate result from poor dental care. So let this be a lesson to you. Always brush your teeth. Wow.
There was something else in the papers about this, about other girls who got sick. When I worked with for a while, she's in the hospital in New York. Doctors don't know what to do with her. They've never seen anything like it.
Miss Fryer, don't tell me you've been paying any attention to what's in the papers. Those stories are not scientific. Reporters are not scientific. They do not follow scientific methods. They write to sell, not to educate. The scientist is not concerned with what sells, he is concerned with the truth. He undertakes years of painstaking study to arrive on an understanding of the intricate natural processes that most people will never presume to comprehend. You will do well to listen to science and ignore the nonsense that is printed in the newspapers. Because I can tell you right now that radium has nothing to do with what's ailing you.
It doesn't?
Not in the least.
What's ailing you?
Poor diet, Miss Fryer. Poor diet.
But Dr. Neff said
Dr.
that-
Neff is a dentist, not a physician. What you have is a vitamin deficiency. You must eat more fresh fruit.
Hard to do in the winter.
And raw meat as well. That will help with anemia. Raw cow's liver, particularly. Cook it if you must, but eat it twice a week at a minimum. Oh, no. I'm a scientist, Miss Fryer, and I take a purely scientific interest in this situation. By allowing me to examine you, you're helping me advance my own studies. I thank you. Yeah. Call me anytime, day or night.
Okay, Dr. Flynn.
Happy to be of service, my dear.
Dr. Frederick Flynn, PhD, Physiology, Columbia University. PhD? That's not a real doctor!
Executive evaluation at first.
The source of my funding has no bearing on my research.
He's seen half a dozen girls. Used to work at the factory. Word I hear, he's working for the company.
Nevertheless, you were able to offer her some useful advice.
I did my best for her.
And how are you doing on the rest of the reports?
The animal studies I conducted revealed no adverse effects from radium. The problem, as you suspected, is personal hygiene only.
Why not that fellow examine you? Nothing surprises me. It's just as you said, Catherine. Those people will say anything. They'll do anything except the right thing. But we're going to make them happen. We're going to make sure someone hears about us.
I am most grateful, Dr. Flynn, but I am particularly grateful that the girl you just examined is doing so much better.
I didn't examine her, no. I merely consulted with her.
Nevertheless, she's doing much better, isn't that so?
From what I could see, Mr. Reader, she seems to be on the road to recovery.
Excellent.
Here is my statement of fees and expenses.
Mr. Lee would draw you a check.
Want anything? My throat's a little dry.
Excuse me, can I help you, miss?
Excuse me slightly.
You're not a member of Women's Club.
No, ma'am. But
Are you perhaps a guest of a member?
no, ma'am. But Miss Wiley.
Then I'm sure Mrs. Wiley will be happy to see you during her regular business hours.
I'm not leaving here till I see Miss Wiley.
It's all right, Miss Middleton. It's fine. You must be Miss Fryer.
Yes. Miss Young from the health department said I should go see you. I know I should have stopped by your office, but I missed a lot of work lately. I don't want to miss no more.
No need to apologize. I had been meaning to call you on myself. Please, sit down.
Me and Catherine, we wrote to the company about our troubles, but we never heard nothing back. So then we went to see a couple of lawyers, but they said they can't do anything either, because it's been so long since we left the radium plant. Something about the law won't allow it?
The statute of limitations.
Right. One lawyer said he would try to sue anyhow, only he wants $1,000 up front. And I've already used everything I saved for my wedding on dentists and doctors and hospital bills, and I still don't know what's wrong with me exactly. And Tom, that's my fella, he doesn't care. He just wants to get married, but I don't see what good I do to him like this. Miss Wiley, I could just have some compensation. Maybe then I could settle my debts and wouldn't feel like I'm saddling Tom with such a burden. I'm sorry to babble you on about these things. I'm so tired of being pushed around.
I don't blame you.
So, yeah, and Miss Young from the health department, she said the consumer, what'd she say? Cloud?
I'd like to think so. We've certainly had our share of successes.
Can you help us out then?
Tell me, Miss Fryer, just how far are you willing to go with this?
Ma'am?
Suppose I do find a lawyer to take your case. Someone willing to take it on a contingency. You wouldn't have to pay him unless you won. Would you be willing to sue?
I want my compensation.
Of course you do. Now, suppose the company says, here's some money for you, Miss Fryer. Only, you were to tell no one what you agreed to. You were to say nothing about how you got sick.
Keep it quiet, you mean?
Yes.
I don't see why.
It isn't right, but that's what they'll do. They will try to buy your silence. Is it for sale, Miss Fryer?
No, ma'am, it isn't.
Good.
So, can you help us out then?
I think I can help you, if you're willing to take some chances.
Chances?
Miss Fryer, if you would be willing to set aside your own need, just for the moment, you could put a stop to that company. You could stop them dead in their tracks.
What do I have to do?
We start by putting you on page 1.
Page 1? You want me to talk to the newspaper?
Not just one newspaper, many, many newspapers.
Is that really necessary? All you want is for Grace to get her compensation?
Tommy!
Let her finish.
I understand your concern, but this company has already shown it's willing to go to extremes to protect itself. No, I'm afraid the only way we'll get to them is to hit them where it matters most, their public image. When every newspaper in America tells your story, how you were sorely treated, how you suffered, how the company denied all responsibility, believe me, Miss Fryer, when that happens, Arthur Reader will come to the table with his hat in his hands.
All right, Miss Wiley.
I know it's a little frightening.
It's all right. Right now I'm more angry than I am scared.
Good. You keep that anger, Miss Fryer. You're going to need it. Only, be sure no one else sees it.
Yeah?
Public sympathy, Miss Fryer. That's our strongest weapon. And the public doesn't have much sympathy for an angry woman.
Hey, we've made it to intermission. Hopefully you're enjoying it. You can probably smell the popcorn out there. There are concessions. We also have cast and crew notes you can send back and tell a cast member or crew member how good they're doing tonight. So we'll see you back in about 12 minutes.
December 4th, 1927, Jack Young appeared for the New York Ledger, Nancy Jane Carlin for the Graphic,
On the strange case of the RadiumGirls,
who claimed their points at the hands of their employer.
and now seek their day in court.
$250,000? That's the price tag on their suffering.
$250,000?
Ask me, it's all a shame. What do you mean? Those girls are very sick.
Sick of working, sure.
Doctors say the RadiumGirls have only a year to live.
Only 1 year to live and 250 grand spent. What would you do with that kind of money?
What would you do? To ease your last suffering days on Earth? What would you do with $250,000?
I'd buy a wardrobe like Irene's past.
I'd give it all to charity.
Then I travel around the world first class with all my friends.
I did the stock market.
I bought my wife a fur coat and the diamond the size of New Hampshire.
I used it to pay off my medical bills. I paid off the second mortgage on my house. Then when my father said I picked my last operation.
Pretty Grace Fryer sits at home,
Suffering bravely through this entire ordeal.
struggling valiantly to keep up her flagging spirit.
All for the sake of her family and her friends.
It hurts to smile, but I try to smile. I know if I don't smile, I'll go crazy.
Tell us, Miss Fryer, how's it feel knowing you have so little time left?
I try not to think about it.
My methods in this sometimes.
Knowing what you've been through, and the company's getting fat off of your labor.
And all they have to say about it is,
No comment.
Don't you just want to punch somebody?
No, that wouldn't do no good. I'd rather think about how it's gonna be. When justice prevails. Then I could do something nice for my folks. Maybe send them a gift. They never did have no honeymoon.
What a fine example of womanhood. We can only aspire to bear our cross in life as nobly as this young girl.
Mr. Barry, I must object to this kind of histrionics. I have nothing to do with that, Mr. Marguerite. I've been in this game a long time, Mr. Barry. And when I see a story like this, move over the wires. I am not to believe that a piece of something has nothing to do with it.
And what's your proposal?
$1,500 to each girl.
$1,500.
That's not even your wages.
We think it's very generous, considering your case won't survive the statute of limitations.
This is a case of equity, sir. The Chancery Court will come to a different conclusion.
The Chancery Court can't rewrite the law, and the law is clear. 2 years from the date of injury, your client's out of time.
2 years from the date of the cause of injury is discovered.
Very creative, Mr. Barry. Very clever. I have to admire your imagination. You have a long way to go before you convince the judge.
And in the meantime, Mr. Martin, the press will continue to take a great interest in the story and the company's complete indifference to its workers.
No doubt that will bring good publicity to the Consumers League, and you accuse us of exploiting these girls?
You're the one hiding behind the statute of limitations.
Hiding, Miss Wiley?
You know very well the law never anticipates a situation like this. These girls were dying years before anyone knew the laws.
Before anyone knew? Does that also include the U.S. Radium Corporation, Miss Wiley? When? Or I say if this case goes to trial? I don't hope that's your opening argument, Mr. Barry, but I made a defense. See you at the hearing.
The arrogance of that man.
What is the purpose of these articles, Miss Wiley?
Public sympathy, Mr. Barry, it's the engine of reform.
You're antagonizing the company.
Then the strategy is working.
And how's that help those girls who see a dozen different newspapers? How little time they have left to live?
Mr. Barry, surely you can see the U.S. Radium Corporation cares nothing about the girls who was poisoned. But the average housewife in Orange cares very deeply, and so do millions of other women across America. These women shop, they buy watches. Martin can be as smug as he likes, but the Consumers League campaign can reach only one outcome, and he knows it. That is why he's here today.
I only hope you're right, Miss Wiley.
I'll send it to you, Mr. Barry. Wait and see.
Dear Miss Schwab, I read your sad story in the Boston Globe, and I'm so sorry to hear about your plight. It seems that in the day of rapid advancement, the average well-being of the worker is overlooked. I'd like to share with you girls the key to my good health at the age of 92. It's called Christian Science.
Dear Miss Schwab, I read your woeful situation in the Atlantic Constitution, and I am prepared to offer you a solution. Venison, an all-natural wonder tonic made from all-natural solutions. Venison will restore your health and vitality. We are prepared to offer you a lifetime supply of venison in exchange for exclusive rights for your photos in our advertisements.
I read about you in the Billing Gazette. I read 100 head count up here and do very well about myself. I've always longed for a companion and well-equipped. For you, a comfortable home in your final hours. A girl like you has suffered so much. Don't you think you deserve a few fleeting hours of happiness? Sincerely, your admirer, Leonard F. Watkins. P.S. He glues him on a picture.
Look at this, Catherine. This man actually sent a picture. You alright, Catherine? Read it again. Shall I get the next? It did this before. It'll stop. Maybe we should go. No, don't go. Well, don't you need to sleep? Who can sleep? I never sleep. Well, you'll sleep tomorrow. Yeah, might not wake up. Of course you'll wake up. Not if it don't go well. Sometimes you don't come out so good. My mother's cousin, she went to the hospital for her appendix, and she didn't come home again. Well, you just can't think about it that way, that's all. Look at this, Catherine. Miss Wiley said the folks would be on our side. She sure was right. What if we don't win? Of course we'll win. But what if we don't? My father will lose his house. We'll be on the street. You'll be on the street too. Your father must owe thousands. And you and Tom, you will never get married. Catherine! How can you stand it, Grace? How can Tom stand it? Don't you ever wonder? I don't never hear him complain. Catherine! Once they hear our testimony, they're gonna rule for us. All they gotta do is take one good look at us and he'll be over in a day. Think so? Sure. I mean, when they see what kind of shape we're in, it'll be awful hard to ignore, don't you think? That'll be something then, won't it? To see the look on Mr. Reader's face when we get on the stand. Now, want to read some more letters?
Then have a little, so there's some chocolate.
Took you long enough.
Don't get on me. I had 6 people stop me on the way here. All 6 of them, reporters. Ask them about you.
Waiting for me to die.
No one's waiting for you to die.
It's true. One of them called my mother asking if I had died. When he said no, he sounded disappointed.
And eat a little of this. You'll feel better.
Evening, girls! How about pictures?
For the love of Mike, what are you doing?
We need some pictures for the graphics exclusive on the girls.
Exclusive, what are you talking about?
$5,000. That's what. What'd you say, Grace? That sound good to you? Think you could use $5,000?
I don't understand.
Perhaps you've heard of Bernard McFadden.
Who, that faith healer?
Herbalist, Mr. Kreider. Bernard McFadden's herbal therapy is just the thing to get these girls back on their feet. And the graphic will pay for it. All we ask is the exclusive rights to their story from here on out. See for yourself.
You want to pay us to go see Bernard McFadden? Give you money, huh? Let me see that.
You're serious, Grace?
The graphic always does business on the up and up.
I don't know.
How much does your father own the house?
I don't know exactly.
And that last hospital bill? It was at least a couple hundred.
At least.
I think we should really think about this, Grace.
And all we have to do is talk to this herbalist fellow?
Of course, we have to get our money's worth. A series of features with pictures. Find the course of the treatment, your illness, recovery, or otherwise. Depending on how it goes.
Then you just get to print whatever you want?
Maybe we add some color. Everybody adds color.
That sounds so bad.
Maybe we should talk to Miss Wiley about it.
Miss Wiley? What's it to her? You're the ones with bills to pay.
Who has the right to do something like this without talking to Miss Wiley?
You're a big girl, Grace. Can't you make your own decisions?
Of course I can make my own decisions.
You take it from the company?
The company owes us a lot more than that.
If you ever see it.
Grace, maybe we should do it. It just won't feel right.
You're gonna talk to the reporters anyhow. So why not get something out of it?
He's right, you know. Why give your story away when people are crazy to read it? Believe me, you girls could cash in big. The day we ran our feature on you, bang, sold out every copy at every newsstand. Everybody can sympathize with the plight of some poor, sick girl facing certain death with no hope of fulfillment in motherhood.
I'd like you to go now. My Beth is tired. She needs her rest.
Grace, we should really think about this.
Sure, think it over. I understand. Worry about what people say, but hey, you gotta think of your own interest here. There's no reason you shouldn't get something out of all this. Look out for number one. That's the way. Everybody else is out to get what they can, for sure. Why would you sit back and keep your nose clean when everybody else is up to their elbows in it?
Gentlemen, I have treated a number of the girls who claim they got sick here. One of them, their jaw rotted so bad, I removed it simply by lifting the bone out of the mouth, as you can see.
That's all right, Dr. Neff. You can put that away.
Maybe you'd rather look it on paper. This was an expensive case to treat, and I never did get no compensation. The girl died, her family never paid.
I sympathize, Dr. Neff, but what has that to do with us?
Here it is straight. There's going to be a lot more people coming out claiming they got sick here, so I thought maybe we could do business. I scratch your back, you scratch mine, that sort of thing.
I'm not following you.
Suppose you were to give me a list of the girls who work here. I'd see to it there are no more lawsuits.
You think you could cure that?
Put out a cure? No. I'm saying I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
How so, Dr. Neff?
I'd examine them for radium necrosis. Come up with a favorable diagnosis, pyuria, say, or something else. Most of them will just die a natural death anyways. And the rest we can put off till the statute of limitation kicks in, and it's too late to sue.
Of course, but then they don't have a case against the company.
Exactly. And if it did come to court, I could testify with some other problem. And it'd be strong testimony coming from the doctor who treated them.
What makes you so sure that these girls will come to you?
They come to me quick if I charge them nothing.
Because we'd be paying.
Exactly. We understand each other, Mr. Reader.
Exactly what are you asking for, Dr. Neff?
I mean, $10,000 for my trouble so far, and for every girl I'd agree to see from here on out. $2 for every new visit, expensive for the x-rays. I'm suggesting a gentleman's agreement here. Better off if it's not paper.
No.
All right, we'll put it in paper.
We'll do nothing. Your proposal is immoral, and we'll have nothing to do with it.
Immoral, you say? You're a fine one to be talking about morals, Mr. Lee, with your own hired guns ready to testify.
Those are expert witnesses.
Expert witnesses? Paid lackeys is more like it, and none of them got the dirt I got. If you're smart, you'll play ball with me. Believe me, there are a lot of other companies who are interested in this information.
You're threatening me?
Just a business proposition, Mr. Reader. Looking out for my interests. Same way you look after yours.
Mr. Lee, see Dr. Neff to the door.
All right. You don't want to play ball? Fine. But believe me, Mr. Reader, when all this shakes out, it won't be me holding the short end of the stick.
Gentlemen, I want you all to make statements on what happened this morning. We'll send them to the State Dental Society. Then Dr. Neff will see who's playing ball and who isn't.
An excellent idea.
I don't know. I don't think we should be so quick to dismiss Dr. Neff's proposal.
What do you mean?
We're in a very bad situation here, Mr. Reader.
That's true. Mr. Lee says you're having trouble getting girls to work here.
And we've lost some contracts.
And it's going to get worse.
The papers are full of stories about these girls.
Making them out to be saints.
And what defense can we put out?
Except to say we'll try our case in court.
And in the court of public opinion, we've already lost.
Perhaps
perhaps we should reconsider. It certainly wouldn't hurt to have a testimony from a dentist who treated some of the girls.
That could be very helpful to us. We should retain him.
Retain him as what, an extortionist?
An expert, like Dr. Flynn.
Dr. Flynn is a highly respected professor at Columbia University. Neff is a neighborhood dentist.
But Dr. Neff treated some of the girls, didn't he?
He didn't treat them, he merely consulted them.
He dispensed medical advice.
It wasn't medical advice, it was a scientific opinion.
How about this? We retain Neff, but we don't put him on the stand just to keep him from testifying for the women.
That's the most important thing.
Yes, I agree. That's the most important thing.
Would you do something like that, Mr. Reader?
Mr. Reader?
Mr. Reader?
Edward, we can't possibly do this. We can't get into a bed with a man like Neff.
Arthur's right. We don't want to be busy with Neff.
He could hurt us. We must take steps.
Besides, Neff has given us everything we need. New evidence, gentlemen. This is grounds for postponement.
3 months to study x-rays. It's outrageous. And do you see the girls? Their eyes are like saucers, terrified, staring at me.
Mr. Barry.
And how are they gonna last 3 months? Catherine Schwab could really get into the courtroom today. And did you see Grace? She was trying so hard not to cry. And of course, I had all the answers. Stay home, girls. Get some rest. That's the best I could do. Get some rest.
Mr. Barry, you're doing wonderfully. It's a difficult case.
And I don't get people like Reader and Mark Lee, how they can just sit there and play this game with those poor girls sitting right there.
Maybe this will help to explain. I received a letter.
And I don't understand people like Mark Lee, how he can just sit there and watch it. He enjoys this part of it. It's cold. Just cold.
Mr. Barry,
What's this?
it's from Catherine Drinker, Mrs. Cecil Drinker of Harvard. She's an industrial hygienist also. She worked with Dr. Drinker on the study of radium plaque. It was a joint effort, actually.
That's very interesting, Miss Wiley, but we've already seen it. It's no use to us.
We've only seen a part of it, Mr. Barry. Please, this is the complete report. Catherine Drinker has been following our story very closely in the papers, and she was particularly disturbed to read that last article in the Ledger, one where Mr. Lee says her study clears the company.
He doctored the report. Reader doctored the report.
Apparently, he pulled out one-page listing the blood conditions of a dozen employees and passed it off as the whole thing. Doesn't look so bad as his own, does it? But its context, it's so much in the picture.
I can use this.
Yes, that'll impress the judge.
The judge, Miss Wiley, no. I'm not going to wait 3 months to present this in court. I want to get your contact with the real world. If Reader doesn't want to see this evidence in the courtroom, he'll have to read out in the newspaper.
January 12th, 1928. Next, Jeff Young here for the New York Ledger.
Next, Jane Harlan for the graphic.
RadiumGirls go to court today.
RadiumGirls knock at the doors of justice. Will they be heard?
These poor injured girls face pain,
Disfigurement,
ruin,
and death! And as the clock ticks away the precious moments,
a hearing begins in Chancery Court,
where the U.S. Radium Corporation demands postponement,
while plaintiff's attorney Raymond Barry makes a shocking disclosure,
showing that the company lies to the Department of Labor,
showing that it distorted the results of a Harvard study,
concealing the ill effects of its products.
Read all about it in the Ledger.
Read it in the graphic. We care because you care.
Very bad.
You didn't read it?
I make a point not to these days.
If only other people would do the same. Mrs. Mitchell from across the street, she walked right past me this morning. Didn't say a word to me. I know she saw me. And the women at the market, and the green grocer, the way they glanced at each other. And at the club, Mrs. Middleton and the other ladies. Whispers.
Why don't you put that away? Why don't you read the journal?
At the club today, someone actually had the nerve to say to me, "Is it true? Is it true?" she said. "Did your husband actually poison those women? I said, Mrs. Cowles, if you think it is true, then why would you speak to me at all? I certainly would not associate with a woman whose husbands did such a thing.
Why did you go there then if that's the way people are?
I've been a member for years.
What do you want me to say, Diane? I knew that we were poisoning people, but we didn't want to stop because we were making too much money. Is that what you want me to say?
I certainly don't want you to say such a thing.
Even if it were true? Or especially if it is true?
Is it true?
Is that what you think?
What would you like me
For God's sakes, Diane, don't you see what's going on here? It's raunchy shocking. He's behind all this. He's jealous of our success. He's feeding information to the Consumers League so they can railroad us.
Why would the consumers...
Bunch of radical women, do-gooders, half of them are Reds probably, socialists. That's what they are. Same thing to that club you belong to. You women think you can go around and fix the world's problems while your husbands go out and fix everything. You're going to quit that club.
Quit the club?
And stop talking to that
You're
idiot
not
Miss
making
Middleton.
any
She
sense.
doesn't know anything. None of these women know anything. You don't know anything.
Did you lie to the Department of Labor?
What?
Did you lie?
I didn't lie. I just didn't agree with Drinker's results.
Arthur.
I have a fiduciary duty to this company.
I can't listen to this.
Diane, I have documents. I have articles. People with tumors the size of baseballs. Radium therapy. The tumors disappeared, Diane.
Tired. I'm going upstairs.
Diane, we save lives. We make lives better. Mild radium therapy, it invigorates. You can't really believe I'd set out to poison you, can you, Diane?
No.
Do you think I would do anything to hurt you or to hurt Harriet?
Certainly not.
Then?
13 girls have died.
People die every day. The newspapers are filled with death notices.
But
People young, old, infants, children younger than Harriet die every day.
But they worked for you.
They also worked other places. I have a report from Columbia University, an expert in industrial hygiene, the same as Drinker, who says there are no connections between the plant and these illnesses. Would you like to see the report?
Then what? What could the cause be?
I don't know. I really don't know. I've done everything in my power to find out. No one knows. If you don't believe me, then there's no point to anything. Do you remember that day that I told my father I wasn't going into the ministry? What you said to me that day?
You are as much good in a boardroom as you can in a church.
You remember?
You think I'd forget?
I was such a scared kid. He was an icon. If it weren't for you, I don't think I'd ever stood up to him.
I know you would have, Artie. I'm sure you would have.
Ever since then, he's been searching for signs that my soul is lost. Do you believe that? That my soul is lost?
You're a good man, Artie.
We save lives.
You save lives.
Everything I do is for you. You know that, don't you?
I know.
Don't let that be another reporter. Arthur! Don't. Charlie, for God's sake.
I just got off the phone with someone from the letter.
This couldn't wait till morning.
Sorry. Good evening.
Mr. Lee.
It's Dr. Lehman.
Dan?
He's dead.
What?
Died this morning.
This can't be. I just saw him last week.
Marlene's already done with the autopsy. She says it was a severe case of anemia.
He's blaming the radium.
The ledger's gonna write it on page 1. I told them it would issue a statement at 8 o'clock. That's when they need it, so it could run tomorrow.
When are the services?
Sorry?
The services.
I don't know.
We'll send flowers. Diane?
Of course. I'll call Louise.
That's right, call Louise.
I should go see her. Poor Louise. We should go over and see her right now.
I wouldn't do that.
Why ever not?
She's planning to sue.
Louise?
A reporter from the ledger told me she's writing a wrongful death action. I came up with a statement. Chemist for 8 years. Recently in poor health, suddenly in decline.
But Dan was never sickly. He was always out on the golf course, or sailing, or their garden. Artie, he kept a beautiful garden.
Why don't we talk about this in the morning?
Of course. Sorry to bring you the bad news, Miss Reader. Good night.
Good night, Mr. Lee.
Charlie can be a bit excessive at times. We have to say something. The shareholders are expecting it. I don't know what we'll say, but we have to say something.
You need to explain already.
Sometimes it's necessary.
It's alright. You need to explain. I'm gonna throw this away.
There's half a case I'm going to say.
Get rid of that too.
I'll do it. And Diane, I'm in too far to quit now.
Really didn't expect you to.
February 21st, 1928. To Mr. Raymond Berry, from Harrison, Maryland. We have examined the remains of the deceased Amelia Maya, and our studies have revealed the following. Large radioactive substances found in the lower jaw, the upper jaw, and the lumbar vertebrae. No evidence of syphilis was found.
Body is radioactive. Bones of a dead girl kick off gamma rays.
Catherine Wiley of Consumers League declares, new evidence shows company lies.
Dr. Joseph Neff, a Newark dentist who treated Amalia, has turned over portions of her jawbone. The X-ray film shows that her jawbone is still radioactive, 5 years after the girl had died. Will this make your case?
Will this force a settlement?
Make our case? No. This gentleman will make our case.
Last night, in a graphic exclusive, the founder of the U.S. Radium Corporation breaks his long silence with this shocking announcement.
Radium is one of the most dangerous substances known to man.
Dr. Von Sashaki, is it true you assisted with the autopsy?
Yeah, but given my expertise in radium extraction, I was able to determine Miss Maja absorbed enough radium to kill 10 people.
Doctor, what's the state for mild radium therapy? Are you now advising against it?
Radium is responsible for the deaths of these poor girls. It should be considered a most dangerous substance.
Do you agree with the doctor's prognosis that the Radium Girls only have a year to live?
From what I've seen, they'll be lucky to last that long.
$500 for me to be laughed.
I'll tell you what else we should have done. We could talk her up because they had paid. You know what we should have done?
Stop telling me what we should have done. Lots of things we should have done. It'll do no good to think about it now.
All right, keep your shirt on.
So what do you think? The red or the blue?
Do you think Barry's gonna go back to the company?
I like the red, but they don't fit so good these days.
Or is he talking about the bid?
Miss Wiley thinks one more interview will do the job, so I say, what's one more, you know?
It's worth a try. If they raise it up to $5,000, we'll just take it then.
Let him come up. I'm not caving in.
It's called a settlement.
A settlement? It's just a way for them to hide.
So let them hide.
Then they win.
So they win. They're gonna win anyways.
Maxie's got so much confidence in me.
For Christ's sake, you have one lawyer working for nothing, and they got 6 getting a bundle. You think you had a chance?
You know what I found out today? They put light screens in the laboratories for the technicians. Did we get light screens?
Oh, Jesus.
What do you think? 100 girls in a room and they're going to spend that kind of money on us?
Grace, what are we doing?
And they're trying to keep it all quiet. And Miss Wiley says they're going to close down here.
Grace.
And move across the river to New
Grace.
York like nothing ever happened!
Grace! What are we doing here? I thought the plan was that you get your money, you pay off your debts, you get a better doctor, and we get on with things.
Get on with things?
You're still wearing my ring!
Oh, Tommy.
There's a house we sold in my brother's neighborhood. It's 2 rooms up, 2 rooms out. It's not much, but it's a start. You'll like it. It's already got a lot of wallpaper. And best of all, it's only 3 blocks away from the school.
The school? What do we need with the school?
Plan ahead for once?
Oh, Tommy, what did you think was going to happen after all this was over? Do you really think everything would just go back to the way it was?
Why wouldn't it?
I gotta see the surgeon again.
Uh-huh.
I got some fluid. He's gonna drain it.
Okay.
And then he says there'll be more.
So we'll deal with it when it
And
comes.
still more, and more, and still more. Why can't you see that? How can you talk about buying houses and getting married when you know that there's nothing?
Grace, I'm too old to be living like this. I just want to come home to you at night. My wife, my home. I'm too old to be living in this in-between life. I'll do whatever it takes to make your life easier. I promise. Now come on, Grace.
I should have given it back to you a long time ago.
I don't want it.
Tommy, are you gonna make me say it?
You're just not getting enough rest, that's all. You should get some sleep.
Tommy!
I'll be back tomorrow.
Tommy, don't do this!
You get some rest.
Tommy, don't do this to me,
Arthur?
Charlie.
You headed home?
Charlie, I've been thinking it over. I think we were taking the wrong approach here. We've got to make a reasonable offer to those girls.
Arthur, we agreed we needed to defend the victory. Otherwise, we invite the same nonsense.
Things have changed.
Arthur, I know you and Dan were close. You can't let this cloud your judgment.
Vaughn Shockey is going to test.
We'll take care of it.
How?
Put more money into it.
Now you want to bribe him?
It's not a bribe, it's a consideration.
Consideration.
For an expert witness, whatever Barry's paying, make it better off.
You don't understand guilt, do you, Charlie?
Sorry, I don't have the luxury of thinking about it.
Let me tell you something, Charlie. A guilty man has tremendous need to unburden himself. That guilt can eat him alive. Don't you see what's going on? Vaughn Shockey wants to be free. That's why Vaughn Shockey is testifying for the girls. That's why he'll never testify for us, no matter how much consideration you offer.
Settle with these girls. You have to settle with all the others. Captain F was right. This is just the beginning.
Tell Markley to get in touch with Barry. Get a conversation going. Get a statement that these girls can't accept.
For Christ's sake, Arthur, what are you trying to do? Wipe me out?
We gotta get this off the table.
For 7 years, I've sunk into this company. Why? Because of you. Because you said no, miss. Why work for Von Shockey when we could work for ourselves? Remember that one? Take a chance, Charlie. Take a chance.
You're a fool! Von Shockey fooled us all! And the best thing now is to clean it up as fast as we can.
Do this and it's the end, Arthur.
You're stepping down?
Not me.
Then who?
No. One vote away from getting rid of you.
And whose vote is that, Charlie?
Have so little faith in me.
I'm still a stockholder of this company. You don't have enough votes to get me off the board. I'll still be on the board.
On the board, on the hook, if the company goes down, you might want to think about that the next time your conscience starts bothering you.
March 15th, 1928. To Raymond Berry, attorney at law. From Edward Markley, Counsel, U.S. Radio. One of our expert witnesses has encountered a serious scheduling conflict, which makes it impossible for him to testify in April. Therefore, we have requested an extension until June. As per your request for a settlement, every case involves some humanitarian aspect. Therefore, I am afraid that cannot be the basis for settling this one. But I have no doubt you'll be rewarded for all the good work we are doing. If not in this world, then in the next.
Wow.
Tommy, please.
Rise and shine.
Madame Curie?
Time for work.
Was I late? I set the alarm.
We have $5,000 to pay before breakfast. Up. It's all for the Civil War effort.
Please, I'm so very tired.
No complaining. Good soldiers don't complain.
But I'm dying.
And who isn't?
Get up, Grace.
Irene?
Get up, sleepyhead. You can't make quota like this.
But I'm 26. I should be married by now. I should have children, my own home.
We all have to make sacrifices sometimes.
But why? Why do we have to make sacrifices?
It's all for science, Grace.
Science, family, every life is sacrificed to something. Just a matter of choosing which.
But I didn't choose. I didn't have no choice.
Sure you did, Grace. Sure you did.
Catherine, don't do that. Catherine?
Look what you've done now, Grace. She's bleeding all over the dials.
I'm sorry. I guess I shouldn't have said anything.
No problem. What's one more dead dial painter?
Riley come by?
Miss Riley?
About Catherine. She said she might stop by. Did she stop by?
She might have.
Don't you know?
Someone came by the door earlier. I think your brother answered it. Look, Grace, you have to get ready.
They took Catherine back to the hospital last night.
I know, dear. I know. And after Mr. Markle leaves, we'll go over there and see how she's doing. But right now, you have to get ready.
I dreamt she died.
Don't say such things.
She dies, it's over.
We're 3 months behind the mortgage.
I know that.
You can't let this go on.
$1,500? Not even a year's wages.
I mean, better than nothing, ain't it?
Is that all I'm worth? Better than nothing?
Of course not, sweetheart. But we have to be realistic. At the rate things are going, you'll never get inside that courtroom. And even if you do, you can't prove nothing.
Mr. Barry thinks we can.
When Mr. Barry ain't paying the bills, we have the doctor, and the bank, and the coal man. We can't expect folks to treat us like charity just because you're sick.
I'm not asking for charity, Mom. I just want what's owed to me.
I know it feels like you're betraying Catherine. But would you blame her if she decided to take a company to offer? No, you wouldn't. So take the money and pay off the bills, and whatever's left, you and Tommy can. Get yourself a good start.
There's nothing to start, Mom.
Why do you have to be so hard on Tommy?
Please, Mom, don't.
Can't you see? He just can't stand the fact that you're not going to be here with us.
I have to fix it. I can't be.
Fix your face, Grace.
$250,000. What would you do with $250,000, Miss Fryer? Can't imagine it. The point to it. Mom, you didn't tell me we had bail. New Mexico, huh? They just keep writing. She was here. Miss Riley was here. Oh, she was here. She was here this morning. She left me a note. I don't understand why you...
Miss Fryer, Edward Markley.
Mom said you brought papers?
Yes, the terms for that was explained in a letter. $1,500 to you. I have a stamp right here. I will need your signature. It's a triplicate.
Grace, Mr. Markley's a very busy man.
Oh no, please, take your time. Look it over carefully. If you prefer, I can come back tomorrow.
No, we'll do this now.
What's hold harmless?
You agreed to hold the company harmless from any further action.
No more lawsuits?
Correct.
It's not just me or anybody in my family.
Your entire family. It precludes a wrongful death action also.
This is a confidential settlement.
Yes.
You didn't say nothing about it being confidential.
It's standard for most legal settlements, Miss Fryer. I wouldn't take it personally. We like to protect our privacy and your privacy also. It cuts both ways. You agree to keep silent about the terms of settlement, and so do we.
That seems fair.
Need a pen?
I have another question.
Grace, Mr. Markley has already explained the settlement to you.
Ma?
I don't mind.
What's contributory negligence, Mr. Markley? It's not in the papers. It's in the other papers that you filed when we did the lawsuit. The radium company says defense was the statute of limitations and contributory negligence.
I don't understand what you're asking, Miss Fryer.
It means it's our fault, don't it?
It's standard defense, Miss Fryer. I wouldn't take it personally.
How else can I take it?
Mr. Markley, Grace has been an awful headache all day. Maybe just leave the papers.
Maybe you could just answer the question.
Grace, why are you doing this?
Mom, why don't you tell me what spying leak is here?
You had already made your mind. She would have just tried to talk you out of it.
What did she say about Catherine?
Mr. Markley, I'll take them papers.
Mom, what did she say about Catherine?
She said I don't look too good.
Perhaps you should come back when Miss Fryer's feeling better.
You didn't answer my question, Mr. Markley, and I'd really like an answer. See, I quit school at 15. I went to work at the radium factory because my folks needed the money. At your factory, they told us what to do, when to do it, how to do it. My folks didn't raise me to make trouble, so I did make trouble. I did what I was told. I never asked questions. How do you get contributory negligence out of that?
As I said, it's standard defense.
There's nothing standard about what happened to me.
We deeply regret your situation, but there is no evidence that ties your condition to the actions of U.S. Radium Corporation.
Why are you giving me this money?
It's a humanitarian gesture.
Humanitarian gestures.
Mr. Markley, I'll take them papers.
Humanitarian! Month after month you put us off. Delay after delay, knowing how sick we were. How tired, desperate. Humanitarian. You were waiting for us to die.
Grace, please, stop this now.
Mom, one by one, I watched my friends get sick and die. In the most horrible way.
We think it's a very generous offer, Miss Fire. Under the circumstances, I would advise you to take it, as it won't be on the table for long.
What do you mean?
If Miss Fire doesn't sign within 24 hours, we'll be forced to withdraw our offer permanently.
Grace!
He's lying!
I beg your pardon, miss?
You're trying to tell me that if I don't sign these papers now, when I come back a week from now, say I changed my mind, you'd still rather go to court? You'd still rather have some judge look at me and take the chances that I won't win on sympathy alone? 24 hours. You're just trying to bully me.
Very well, Miss Fire. I'll take that as a no, and we'll see you in court.
Yes, you will. You will see me. Even if you have to carry me out there, you'll see me.
Grace, you call that man back now!
I'm going to court, Mom.
What are you trying to prove? You know you can't win!
Mom, I want those people to look at me. I want them to look at me and explain to me how it's my fault. That I got sick looking at their actors.
And what does it get you? What?
Mom! All my life I did what other people told me to. I quit school because you said I should. I put that paintbrush in my mouth because Miss McNeil said I should. I never once said, please, Mom, can I finish school? I never said I don't like the taste of this paint. I never argued, even though I knew, Mom, I knew something wasn't right. At night, I'd lie in bed and look at my dress hanging on the back of my closet door, all aglow. Look at my shoes on the floor, and my hairbrush and my comb on the dresser. So much light, Mom. So much light. And I never once asked. I never once questioned, don't you see? They knew I wouldn't. That's what they were counting on.
Arsa, what is you making all this noise?
I left messages with your housekeeper. I know you got my messages.
As you are no longer in business, I thought it best not to respond.
Is that what this is about?
Perhaps a cup of tea will calm your nerves.
You never told us the paint was dangerous. You never said a word about it. Not to me, not to Dan.
I didn't know.
You didn't know. How could you lie like that? You invented the paint and you didn't know.
I didn't know until it was too late, Arsa.
I should put you through that wall!
Perhaps you should, but you will not. You will sit down, you will have some tea, and you will calm yourself.
I was not the technical man. You were the technical man.
Yeah, I was the technical man, Arsa. Sit down.
I sold watches, for Christ's sake. I was a salesman.
Yeah, a very good one at that. Always a good head for the business you have. Not such a good head for the science, but for the business. Always you could find ways to cut the cost without losing the quality. That's the gift, Arthur. So why don't you have...
Jeez, what is wrong with your hands?
It's been like that for some time.
What have you been dipping them in ink?
Dipping them in ink? How fond of a petty story you are. If only it were ink. No, Dr. Martin tells me it's a necrosis of the tissue, the cells. They're dying. With dial painters in the jaw, etc. It's a necrosis. With me in the hands.
I had no idea.
No reason why you should. It's been a long time since I've seen you.
How long?
I've known for a while. When Miss Riley from the Consumers League persuaded me to assist Dr. Martin in testing the girls. There aren't that many people, you know, who can measure that kind of thing. So she approached me, knowing I had the equipment and of course the skill. I did not want to believe her, Arthur. I did not want to believe the girls would get sick from working with my paint. So I agreed to help, and we conducted some expired air tests on the girls. It was then I found out when my own breast registered radioactive in my hands, they began to turn blood. Now you wish to have words with me?
I'm sorry.
Perhaps you should set up an appointment yourself to Dr. Martin.
Me? What for?
Arthur, you didn't notice the dust on your shoes when you went home at night?
How can I miss it? I tracked it all over the house.
What's the matter?
It's our promotional piece.
Excellent promotion. How many new sales did that book account for?
I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure it helped out our medical market quite a bit.
The last chapter. Open it. Read it to me.
What?
The last chapter. Open it.
Radium. Dangerous effects.
Radium. Dangerous effects. How many articles do you have listed then? 10? 15?
18, it looks like.
When you go to court, how do you plan to testify that you had no idea radium was dangerous? How do you plan to do that, officer, when your own book says it was?
I never really read it.
What's that?
I just glanced at the galleys. I hired an outside man to prepare the piece, and I never really read the book. I just glanced at the pages.
How do you mean you never really read it?
I hired an outside company to prepare the piece.
Which you never read.
I find it pretty commonly that very few presidents read their promotional piece word for word.
It had your name on it. You had final approval of it. You had final release of the content.
Mr. Lee was in charge of our promotional excerpts at the time.
Mr. Reader, you claimed it. You started the Radium Corporation in 1918.
As a plant manager.
And how long have you held this position for?
4 years.
4 years. During those 4 years, how often do you venture into the painting studio?
Every day.
Every day. So, you must have seen at least one girl point a brush to her lips.
I don't recall.
So you're saying you went into the studio every day, and you never not once saw a girl point a brush to her lips?
I said I don't recall.
You don't recall? You know, for an off-field manager, Mr. Reader, you don't recall much.
Objection.
I withdraw. No more questions.
Your witness, Mr. Markley?
We have no more questions for the witness, Your Honor.
All right, gentlemen, please approach. I'm ready to issue my ruling.
Your Honor, we have yet to present our defense.
I understand that, Mr. Markley, but this proceeding is to determine standing. Now, I've heard enough over the past 2 days to make that determination. The poison in the bones of these girls is an ongoing source of pain and illness. Nothing your witnesses can say will change that fact.
Your Honor, our witnesses are prepared to testify that he cannot done about dangers.
Mr. Markley, in the interest of justice, I ask that the defense rest without calling any witnesses. We can conclude this hearing today and set the case for trial.
All right, Your Honor.
Fine. I therefore rule that the statute of limitations has not been exhausted, and these girls have standing to sue.
Your Honor, one thing. I have a very busy schedule with 2 cases pending, and a key witness will not be available until the end of summer. We will not be available until September.
Your Honor!
I'm sorry, Your Honor, but my key witness is associated with an institution of higher learning, and I cannot expect him to appear.
Your Honor, Mr. Markley is responsible for the situation he's in. He's the one who demanded the continuous delays.
Your Honor, you've agreed to waive our right to present witnesses at this hearing. Surely you will not force us to present our evidence without the presence of a key witness.
Fine. Trial is set for September. Court adjourned.
Why can't Glenn appear?
He's going to Europe.
Europe? But he's known about this for months. Why can't... Oh, very clever, Edward. How long do you plan to keep this up?
For as long as necessary.
Mr. Markley.
Congratulations, Mr. Barry. I never thought the court would go for it.
You know full well these girls can't wait until September. What is so ill? She can't even appear in court.
My client has a right to make his defense.
You know what? I will not wait until September. I promise you that. One way or another, we will find room on that docket, and your expert witness will be damned.
Edward, that girl keeps on staring at
I wouldn't worry about it.
She thinks that I blamed her somehow. How do I make her understand that it wasn't my fault, that I personally wanted this to happen?
You don't. You don't make her understand. You don't talk to her.
But she looks like death, Edward.
They all look like that, Arthur.
That man this way. He won't look at me. He won't ever look at me. He just looks right past me. Like I'm not even here.
Grace, it doesn't matter. He heard you.
June 4th, 1928. Nance Jane Harlan for the graphic.
Jack Youngwood for the ledger.
Raymond Berry seeks trial date for early summer.
As U.S. Radium Corporation announces a settlement.
A settlement?
$10,000 cash for each girl, and $12 a week for life.
$12 a week?
Read all about it in the ledger, your first source for news.
The
The company has agreed to pay all medical expenses for the girls for the remainder of their life. And the girls have agreed to submit to the periodic examination yet to be appointed by a panel of physicians. Any questions?
What led to the settlement?
Isn't that a admission of responsibility?
What about other pending cases?
It's purely for humanitarian reasons that the U.S. Radium Corporation agrees to the settlement. We admit to no liability whatsoever.
Where does the company go from here?
We are pleased to have brought this lengthy litigation to a close, and we look forward to serving our customers in this community for many more years in the future. That's C.B. Lee, President.
Captain Wiley of the New Jersey Consumer League, our press statement. Were you pleased with the outcome, Miss Wiley? Finally, these poor girls received some form of compensation, but more importantly, the issue of radium poisoning has been brought to public awareness. Thanks, Miss Wiley. The spelling, by the way, is Wiley with one L and Catherine with a K.
Well, Edward, looks like we're back in business.
What's your game plan?
I didn't tell you. I got a buyer for the tailings piled up behind the studio on Alden Street.
Oh?
Some contractor in Montclair needs a little infill.
Sounds perfect.
Now Catherine this one too. I can't see your name. There. That's better. Well, Catherine, I brought my watercolors. It's such a beautiful day too. The leaves are starting to turn and it's still warm. Too warm for a sweater. Not much of a breeze. A beautiful day to paint.
I'm not find you up here.
You were right.
It's quiet up here.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a place for recipes, I guess this is a place to do it, huh?
I guess it is.
What are you doing? What are you doing there?
Watercolors. My landscapes are still a little weak though.
It's good, Grace. It's nice.
First thing I bought with my summer money was watercolors. Got some oils too.
Spender, huh?
Then I bought a car.
You drive?
No, my brother's gonna teach me. He drove me up here today.
Grace, you want to learn how to drive? Why don't you ask me? I would have taught you.
We both know we will have other things to deal with now.
I've been meaning to tell you about that. That's why I came up here looking for you.
It's alright. Orange just isn't that big, and I'm happy for you. For both of you.
Grace, I'm glad this all worked out for you. Are you glad? I mean, you don't think I backed down too soon? Because
You didn't back down. They backed down.
It was over here.
This again.
This is where I saw her that last time.
Papa, this is morbid.
I stood there for a long time. She didn't notice me at first. Something made her look up.
Oh my.
No wonder Mom doesn't come to drive with you anymore.
She stared at me
Except
and
for Sundays.
I looked away.
Just like at the courthouse that day. He can't bring himself to look at me.
My heart started pounding everything. I didn't know what I would say to her if I had the chance, and suddenly there she was. I had the chance.
So what did you say?
I couldn't bring myself to speak.
It's as if he's afraid of me.
I couldn't bring myself.
That was years ago.
He's afraid of me.
Why don't you just forget about it? It's not like it was your fault. People just didn't know about things like that back then. Science just wasn't as advanced the way it is now.
I think back on those days, and I try to remember how it could have happened. I remember so clearly climbing the stairs to the studio at Alden Street. At the top of the stairs, those wide high windows. The way the light hit the floor. The way the floorboards creaked underneath my feet. And the smell of the place. chalky, like an old schoolroom. And the girls, schoolgirls really, all bent to the task. No man could work the way those girls did. So fast, so careful. And those brushes, flying from dial to paint to dial to their lips. Try as I might, Harriet. Try as I might. I cannot remember their faces. I never saw their faces.
Coming to closing night, so I will try to do this extremely quickly. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed that. They are... There's two people I want to thank really quickly. Our boosters has done just a phenomenal job. I want to thank Mike and Heather McKenzie. And all this stuff, don't be shy now. Mike came in and helped us with building, and Heather is in charge of all our concessions and has developed an entire plan of start to finish, how it goes, what time ice goes in, and popcorn start, construction, and the whole thing. So thank you very much. I would like to thank Zach Swire. He's setting up our cast party. So he went to set up our cast party. He is a whiz at marketing and all that. He's the one who's setting up our whole business plan and the donors and that whole thing. So and then he takes all of our photography. So you'll see that all get posted, but it's all volunteer. And I keep telling him not to spend money, and he keeps doing it. He's like, it's for the school. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mrs. Swire. our food in between shows and pick up things for students who have special needs and dietary things. And she's like, it's fine. So thank you very much. Kaden Ortiz has been, dang it, I'm not gonna cry. Kaden Ortiz, come on up. Guys, what? Kaden's become like a brother to me. He is an actual professional set builder and designer. And he actually, during this whole show, has been working in San Diego. And has been having to drive up or ask for days off so that he can come here. And he really trains the kids and teaches them how to do a lot of stuff that I go over and I whisper, don't cut your finger off. But he really teaches them how to do all this, and it's really impressive. And I couldn't do it without him. So. Of the International Thespian Society or National Thespian Society, and on this show there are a lot of cast members who have earned their way in. They have to do at least 2 shows and set building and all kinds of things. They earn hours, and so it's a lot of them. Matthew Azuma, Jose Benuelos, Isabella Costello, hold your applause, Harrison Dale. There's other people who are in here as well that have earned it from earlier shows. Samantha Porter, Anthony Powell, Luke Rainier, Jacob Rivas, Kira Sam, Jael Tabor, Addie Bowe, Gracie Clapprood, Natalia Gerard, Caitlin Green, Kara Hawk, Hosmer Jabalelli, Jenna Key, Leon, Angela Peng, Bowie Perez, Sophia Porter, Izzy Puentes, and Vicky Yang. So they will be earning into the International Thespian Society, National Thespian Society. Our Booster Club presidents, the Powells. They are always the most stylish in the building. They have to see how you match. Don't be shy. You get dressed like that and then stay in the audience. Of making our booster club cohesive and all of that. And then, of course, if you are a senior, please step forward. This is my 5th year, and this is my biggest class of students who are leaving. Take it.
It's okay, you're allowed.
Thank you. So it's going to be really, really tough, but they do a good job of making sure that they're training other people. So just so you know, it's all girls running the booth, and we have a new system for audio. I don't really know how to run the light board, and they just figure it all out, and then they just tell me like, oh, we're going to do this or that. And so they also come and say, I think this kid's going to be fine. I taught them how to do this. And so I always appreciate that. So I wrote you guys something. It isn't just, here's a note on the back of it as well. So it's a lot. It's all of these kids. So I'm so grateful for you and for, how many of you have been here for 4 years? All 4? Woo! A rough one for me, so send me kind messages. It's gotta be hard, but thank you for sharing your kids with me. Thank you for sharing the theater and live theater at that. If you guys keep coming, it will continue. I think it's a very, very important art form. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate you guys.
You can do it.
So, Mr. Stevens, we got you a director's gift. So this is for you. It's a cool assignment. It goes in the jar.
Nobody lift the pen.